Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here today. Today, we're going to explore the 3 steps to making someone fall in love. We'll walk through the key stages that can help build real connection and affection. So, let's get started and discover how these steps can transform relationships. Love can be one of the most beautiful experiences in human life, but it can also be quite dangerous. It has the power to awaken our deepest emotions, our hope, our vulnerability, and that strong longing to be seen and understood by someone else. At the same time, love can sometimes expose our insecurities and even amplify our emotional wounds, making us feel more exposed and fragile than we might like. So, if we want to truly understand how love develops or how someone falls in love, we can't just look at surface-level attraction. We need to dig a little deeper, exploring the complex emotional and psychological layers involved. Love isn't just about initial chemistry. It's about the connections we build over time, as we navigate both the joys and the vulnerabilities that come with opening our hearts. This understanding is essential as we continue to explore what makes love both so powerful and so complex. When we talk about falling in love, a lot of people think it's just about luck or maybe some kind of magic. But in reality, it's much more of a psychological process that happens in stages. And here's the key. If you understand these stages, you're not just going to attract love, you'll also be able to build something meaningful and lasting. This isn't about superficial attraction alone. It's about creating a foundation based on emotional safety, genuine compatibility, and shared purpose. Now, I want to break down the 3 key steps that actually make someone truly fall in love. Understanding these steps helps you see love as a process you can influence, rather than just something that happens by chance. So, let's dive into what these stages are and how they connect to building real, lasting connection. Let's start with the first key point. Emotional safety is the foundation of all attraction. Before any passion, chemistry, or admiration can develop, there needs to be a sense of safety. No one can truly fall in love if they're in an environment filled with tension, fear, or judgment. Our human nervous systems are wired to seek safety first, because only then can genuine connection happen. When we meet someone who makes us feel emotionally safe, we subconsciously relax. We let our guard down, open up, and share more of ourselves. That's why emotional safety is often mistaken for instant chemistry. It's not just about physical attraction, it's about feeling seen and accepted without the fear of rejection. Now, in practice, emotional safety means a few important things. First, you can express your feelings without being mocked or dismissed. It's about feeling comfortable enough to be honest about your flaws and needs. And it also means you don't have to hide parts of yourself just to keep the other person interested. In today's world, many people chase excitement or passion first, ignoring this crucial first step of safety. But the truth is, real attraction, the kind that lasts, deepens when someone feels at home around you. That sense of being safe and accepted creates the real foundation for meaningful connection. Now that we've established a sense of safety, we can see how emotional resonance begins to deepen. This is the stage where 2 people start to mirror each other's emotional worlds, sharing not just facts about their lives, but really how those experiences make them feel. Psychologists refer to this as emotional attunement, the ability to sense and respond to another person's emotional state. And honestly, this is the secret ingredient of intimacy. It's why we tend to fall for people who listen deeply, remember those small details, and validate our feelings. When someone says, "I completely understand how that must have felt for you," it triggers the release of oxytocin in the brain, the bonding hormone that fosters connection. Over time, these small moments of empathy build up. They create a sense of emotional familiarity, like, "This person just gets me." And that, in turn, is when emotional resonance transforms into love. Because, at its core, love isn't about logic or looks. It's about emotional synchronization. Now we arrive at step 3, shared vision, aligning dreams, values, and growth. This is the stage where infatuation either evolves into genuine love or starts to fade away. Once an emotional connection is established, the question naturally arises, can I see myself building a life with this person? This is where shared vision and aligned values become crucial. Remember, true love grows when both partners move toward common goals, not necessarily identical dreams, but directions that complement each other. It's important to recognize that when one partner is driven, ambitious, and self-aware, and the other remains stagnant, emotional friction can develop. Over time, this imbalance doesn't just cause frustration. It can lead to emotional fatigue and even depression. That's why many relationships tend to crumble after the honeymoon phase, because the chemistry is there, but the shared path is. So, to sustain love, it's vital to encourage each other's ambitions, support growth even if it's uncomfortable, and revisit your shared values, often asking, what kind of life do we both want to build? Because at its core, love isn't a static emotion. It's a shared journey that evolves with both of you. When love turns into pain, it's often a gradual process, and recognizing the warning signs can be crucial. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, the relationship that once brought us joy begins to drain us emotionally. The same connection that made us feel alive can start to feel heavy and burdensome. Psychologists have identified several key patterns that signal this shift from love to emotional suffering. One of these is a lack of common goals. When one partner's dreams or aspirations are dismissed or minimized, it creates a disconnect that can be very painful. Another important pattern is emotional disconnection. When conversations lose their depth and vulnerability disappears, the closeness we once shared starts to fade. Contagious negativity is also a warning sign. When feelings of chronic sadness, pessimism, or depression spread from one partner to the other, it can create a toxic cycle that's hard to break. Then there's emotional or psychological abuse, which might start subtly with manipulation or control. Over time, this erodes self-worth and leaves us feeling less like ourselves. Breakdowns in communication are often at the root. When feelings go unspoken and resentment builds, intimacy can be replaced by distance. We also see a mismatch in personal evolution. When one partner grows and the other resists change, it creates a gap that's tough to bridge. And finally, feeling trapped. Sometimes we stay not because we want to, but out of guilt, fear, or obligation, which can trap us in a relationship that no longer serves us. It's important to remember that love that turns toxic is often love that has stopped growing. Staying out of guilt or pity isn't compassion. It's actually a form of self-abandonment. Recognizing these signs can help us understand when it's time to reevaluate and prioritize our well-being. The real secret to love, as we've been discussing, is emotional maturity. It's the foundation that makes safety, resonance, and shared vision truly possible. Without this deeper quality, even the strongest connections can become unstable. You see, self-awareness is crucial. If you don't understand yourself, your relationships can easily wobble. And empathy, that's what keeps attraction from feeling empty. It's what allows genuine connection to flourish. Emotional maturity means you can love deeply without losing yourself in the process. It's about caring so much that you don't need to control or manipulate. And it's also about knowing when to walk away from what's hurtful, even if your heart still feels attached. Because true love isn't about clinging. It's about growth, respect, and balance. And that's what makes love sustainable and real. Let's explore the art of inviting love. Falling in love isn't about charm, strategy, or manipulation. Instead, it's about creating an environment where both nervous systems can truly relax, connect, and grow together. When someone feels safe, understood, and inspired by your presence, love naturally unfolds. It's not something you have to force or make happen. Safety is fundamental. It's the foundation built on trust and acceptance, knowing that you're reliable and non-judgmental. Understanding comes next, which involves deep emotional resonance and attunement, really tuning in to each other's feelings and needs. And finally, inspiration, sharing a vision for growth and aligning your paths that keeps love vibrant and evolving. These elements, safety, understanding, and inspiration, are interconnected. When they come together, they foster an environment where love can flourish naturally, fitting perfectly into our overall theme of nurturing authentic, meaningful connections. Final thoughts, everyone. I want to leave you with this idea. The real art of love isn't about chasing after it or trying to force it to happen. Instead, it's about becoming the kind of person who naturally invites love into their life. When we focus on personal growth and emotional maturity, we create an environment where love can flourish organically. The 3 steps I mentioned earlier, well, they're not about tricks or tactics. They're actually the natural outcomes of being present, authentic, and emotionally open. When you're genuinely connected to yourself and others, you create safety, trust, and shared purpose. These qualities make it easier for someone to fall in love because they feel truly seen and valued. So the key takeaway here is that love isn't something to pursue aggressively. It's something that happens when we focus on becoming the best, most authentic versions of ourselves, creating the space where love can grow naturally. And that, I believe, is the true art of love.